All right, there we go. Hi there, what's going on, Morgan, and anyone else listening on YouTube? If you're actually going to watch this, which you're probably not, but that's okay.
Who watches Harry Potter podcasts if it has anything to do with academia?
Who still watches, like, are there people who still watch Harry Potter podcasts? Like,
I didn't even know that was a thing, to be honest, but...
I mean, they could be.
I mean, there's a podcast for everything.
That's true, but I mean, I feel like the podcast fad is like, you know, it was like came after the Harry Potter fad, so we are getting way off topic. Hi there, we're talking about tonal shifts in Harry Potter.
What's up? Okay, I'm Adriana, if you didn't know Morgan, and...
I am Evan. We don't have face cam. I could have done it, but we're not gonna, so we're just doing this now.
Hope you enjoy.
All right, let's get going. All right, what are we talking about today? Hit me with it. What do we got going on?
Okay, what we have for our thesis, because this is an academic thing.
Oh, right. Academia.
J.K. Rowling writes the Harry Potter series in such a way that the themes and plot elements age with the audience getting more dark and mature, and is translated into visual elements into the movies.
She literally just read that off of like a script that is directly in front of her. Also a reason we don't have face cam. So there you go. All right, break it down for me. What does that mean? Like English, please.
Tonal shifts in Harry Potter.
Boom, there we go. That's what we got going on today. We got 3 parts for this. It's gonna be good. I hope at least. Please give us A's. We're begging you here. All right, part 1. We've got visuals. What is that?
That is every single Harry Potter movie in the whole series mashed up into a barcode-looking thing.
Okay, so then let's take a quick look at this. Yeah, I got my mouse right here. We're screen capping this. So like, let's say this little bit right here. This is about the first 2 movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
You'd say roughly that.
Yeah.
Pretty bright, pretty colorful. You got some nice like auburn hues in there, you know, like a few darker moments right in like that little section there. But then, you know, pretty dark, pretty bright, and then bam, right around there.
I think it's cooler, a lot more green.
Yeah, that is a little more green. What, like, in fact, like, look at the end here.
Yeah, you get like really warm and just go
And
all
then,
the way to cooler colors.
Yeah, and then for some reason God, the more I look at that, the more green it gets. What's with that?
We really could get into color theory here,
Oh,
but that's not...
Absolutely, but okay, back on topic. So obviously, there's a tonal shift, and we like to contest that it's right around movie 3.
Which would probably be that right here in this area. That's probably where the 3rd movie starts.
Roughly, they're right around. I will give you that. And this is further highlighted right here with the Warner Brothers logos. So like there's a full image here, but it was long, and I wanted to like highlight the first 3. So let's take a quick look at this. This is the Warner Brothers logo, like at the beginning of the first 3 movies. Got your first one right here. Is it bright, typical, you know?
Yeah, that reminds me of the Looney Tunes. Beginning of it.
Actually, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No. Because also keep in mind this was like 2001. So like
Yeah.
Warner Brothers was still like, you know, keeping that image of like the bright, colorful Warner Brothers logo. Get to the second one. It's still got that gold sheen to it, you know. It's still got like basically the same things, but it's looking a little different. And then boom, movie 3 right there. Stop. You go away. But you got movie 3 where all of a sudden it just like dark tones, dark and gritty. This is a serious movie, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Like that hits you hard. So like. So, oh, you were gonna say something?
No.
I mean, so let me raise you this. Like, what do you think like this symbolizes to the audience in terms of like what they're seeing visually and how that is translated from the text?
I think it looks like it's harsher, or at least something is about to go down in this movie. Like, the first one's like, yay, I want to be a wizard too. The second one's like, maybe wizarding is a little stressful. And it's like, oh no, somebody's gonna die.
Oh, I mean, no, I will 100% agree with that. And I mean, even like taking into consideration like, you know, the books and how this has been like, you know, translated over. Like, book 3 in particular definitely tackled like some darker tones and stuff and had like some darker elements to it.
Well, like, even if you look at the names of it, the Sorcerer's Stone, like Harry Potter and isn't it called like Philosopher's Stone overseas?
That was the original British release.
Yeah, that's like whimsical to me. That word keeps popping up, but it's like, I don't want to know what the Sorcerer's Stone is. Chamber of Secrets, it's like, ooh, that's mysterious. Like, yay.
Yeah.
Prisoner of Azkaban. That makes me think of that one prison that's off of
Alcatraz prison. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, and that's dark in itself. Like,
yeah. No, 100%. I didn't even think about that. Wow. But like, because you've got so let's take a look at Prisoner of Azkaban. First off, prisoner, like, so you're dealing with a criminal here first and foremost, but also J.K. Rowling obviously invents like a lot of words for the Harry Potter series. So all of a sudden you hear Azkaban and you're like, what is that? What does that mean? Why is there a prisoner from there? And I think book 3 is also when you get introduced to Dementors, isn't it?
I think so.
Oh my, those things scared me as a kid, man.
Yeah, and like the idea of a Dementor is it sucks all the happiness out of you and like your soul. And that's just depressing in general. Like
like literally the way to combat them is to think happy thoughts. That's how the spell works. That's how Expecto Patronum works.
Yeah.
Oh my.
And then you get introduced into his Patronus in general. Isn't that it's a deer, but it's
a stag.
Like a stag. Yeah. And that's his father's.
Yeah.
And so then you're like, that's another reminder of the depressing fact he's an orphan. And he constantly longs for his parents.
Yeah, I mean, dang, wow, movie 3 really, like, book and movie 3 really did step it up. Like, geez. I mean, and, oh my god, that's also when you get introduced to, like, werewolves are in Harry Potter, by the way. Those things are there.
Yeah, but they're not even, like, the Twilight werewolf, where it's like, oh, I kind of want to meet a werewolf. No, it's like, they don't know anything about what they're doing.
Oh,
you're reintroduced... back into like the idea of like spooky haunting Transylvania werewolf.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Plus, also keep in mind, I want to say that Prisoner of Azkaban is both like text-wise and movie-wise one of the scariest, and Voldemort's not even in it, like at all.
No, I mean I think Prisoner of Azkaban is also when you're introduced into when Peter Pettigrew, like this completely, what was it called? He was this loyal to his friends.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I can't think of the word. Oh, no. Betrayed.
Oh.
And, like, the idea of betrayal is also much darker. Like,
yeah.
When you're 11 years old and Sorcerer's Stone or whatever, it's like, oh, me and my friends are doing this. Like, the biggest stress you really have is, like, oh, we're getting caught by Mr. Filch. And then, like, Prisoner of Azkaban, it's like, my parents died because somebody betrayed them and betrayed their trust.
Yeah, no, Prisoner of Azkaban 100% stepped up the game here, and I feel like I might have repressed just how dark that thing was. Wow. Oh my, okay, well, we could go on about this for a while. Let's move on to part 2, the music. Yeah, I mean, come on. If you've watched a Harry Potter movie, you know. Come on. Dun, 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 dun. Come on.
It's the whole thing.
It's whimsical. It's lighthearted. I would have included it, but I don't want to get copy striked on this video. Sorry. But come on, you know the song, and so like you get that in movie 1, and you're like you've been saying, oh man, it's whimsical, it's lighthearted, Hogwarts, oh, it's so much fun, it's magical. And, movie 2, you still hear it every now and then. I think they play it like once in movie 3. If at all,
you lose it as you go throughout it, and if you do lose it, if you do have it, it's like maybe at the beginning of the movie where it's not part of the plot or it doesn't like build up to this happy moment or anything, because there is no happy moments.
Yeah, I mean, I think that goes right along with what we were saying in our thesis, where it's like when you start off, it's like it's young, it's childlike, it's innocent, all that stuff, but the viewer gets older. And as you get older, those whimsical moments, that lighthearted kind of music that can, influence or shift your attitude, that goes away, too, to the point where I don't remember, any happy music in, the last two of, the last two movies, part 1 and 2 of Deathly Hallows. I don't...
No, I remember I had rewatched Deathly Hallows, and you immediately go straight into just the next part of the movie. They didn't even bother. They're like, okay, we know you're going to be watching this, we know that you're going to be, what's it called? I'm losing all of my words today. Right when we know that you're going to be binging the whole thing prior to this. And so you immediately go straight into the movie for part 2.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I totally forgot about that.
I can't exactly remember how it starts, but I know... Oh, yeah, you do. You start off in the house, Dobby died.
That's right.
You start off with Dobby's death.
That's right. Oh, my... I don't remember, reading... Because I remember reading that and just, that was, a moment of, that was a gut punch for me of just, you killed Dobby! Oh, by the way, spoilers or whatever. Nobody cares.
I mean, You knew we were doing this, Morgan.
Pretty much, yeah. But, like, how could you do that?
She wasn't even afraid to kill people. Like, more and more people die throughout the series, too.
I've got a bit of grievances with that. You know what? I'm going to air them. Let's go. Let's do this. I feel like she went through the whole series and killed, like, what, Dumbledore, and that was it?
Dumbledore was, like, essential to the plot, though.
Yeah. And then after that,
sense.
though, it was like, well, I haven't killed enough people. Time to just kill people.
I mean, no, I actually agree with it, though. I feel like with specific books, if you kill off specific characters, then it does it a little bit. I think it's better writing. I don't know, like
Lupin and Tonks did not need to die.
I know.
Neither of them needed to die, and they died like off screen. Even in the books, it was just like, oh, by the way, they're dead, and I'm like, what?
I mean, I think that's the point, though. Like, there's a lot of sacrifice here.
You know what? No, I'm still, like, out of everyone else, those are the two that I'm still mad about. Like, even, like, just
She could have left at least one parent for the child.
Seriously, come on, man.
We don't need another Harry Potter here.
Okay. I mean, but look, think about this. The fact that we are talking about, like, how many deaths there are shows, like, a massive shift in the tone of the story. Where, you know, all these people are dying, and it's like, wow, this started off so lighthearted in the beginning.
Well, yeah, especially with another thing, though. I heard another group talking about, like, racism in Harry Potter.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, even it just hits on, like, kind of slightly political topics, too. Like, just, I don't know. I never understood, really, how people could just hold so much hate. And then reading Harry Potter, I can parallel things from, like, how people see other races and how Draco sees half-bloods and, like, muggles and everything like that. And it's just, like, I don't know, that makes somebody think a little bit more, even at, like, the age of 13.
Oh, yeah. No, definitely, without a doubt. All right. Part 3, comedic relief. We all know. Come on. Young Neville. First off, hang on. Look at that face. Look at that face. That's just the face that says, man, my eyes are so full of wonder and whimsy. Everything's going great.
I have such childlike cheeks.
Oh.
I'll fight you if you go and make us lose house points, because that's what this scene is, and that is what matters the most.
Remember when house points mattered?
Right?
Oh, better days. But come on, Neville was often at the butt of, you know, like, let's be honest, every joke. There was the broom scene when he was thrown around. There was the part when he was tortured by the Cornish pixies in the second book.
Yeah.
So, like...
But he ends up becoming such a large character in the very end because he's the one that ultimately defeats Voldemort. It wasn't Harry. He's the one that kills...
He kills the snake.
Yes.
Yes, that's right. That is right. He does. So you know what? There you go. There's another character that aged with the series and, like, tonally shifted. He went from, you know, like, this goofy kid to...
Yeah, and, like...
an actual, like, fully fleshed out and developed character.
Yeah, I know. And you can... In this scene, particularly, where he has, like, his hands up, that's the scene where he's like, I'll fight you. You know that you're breaking the rules right now. We're going to lose house points. Like, blah, blah, blah. Well, then you get down to the last, like, movie. And, yeah, he doesn't lose that Gryffindor part of him where he stands up to Voldemort after Voldemort believes Harry's dead. Like, he's like, no, Harry... Yeah, Harry was, like, a symbol, and he gives this speech and everything, and he still has that part of him, but he's now giving that from his friends to Voldemort, the dark god of, like, evil.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know what? This was, like, a highlight of both the book, but especially the movie. Like, I love how this guy was translated into the movies.
Yes.
It was done so phenomenally.
Yes.
Everything about him, like, even if you look in the background, he's got the portrait, like, a painting of himself painting himself.
Oh, I didn't even notice
Come
that.
on.
That's funny. Well, I think the funniest part is we all know people just like him.
Oh, absolutely. We all, like, if you, like, and also I'm going to say this right now, if you don't know that person, bad news, you are that person. But
that's kind of how life is.
A little bit, but... Yeah. But come on, he added, like, the comedic relief, even if there were serious points in the second movie, and there definitely were. Like, he was always kind of there in the background. Hell, they even dragged him along into the Chamber of Secrets. Y'all remember that?
Oh, yeah, and he lost his memory.
Yeah, he was still comedic relief in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he still did, like, you know, all this comedic stuff and had all this comedic timing going on. So, like, he was always there. Just, like, lightening the mood, basically. And, I mean... Look at that smug face.
Yeah.
Can't get over it. So, and the night bus as well from the third one was like, so Harry just like runs away from his house after blowing up his aunt, which was kind of funny, not gonna lie. And all of a sudden he sees like a very dark, scary, evil wolf staring at him, and then bam, night bus comes out of nowhere.
Well, even just the idea of like this dark, scary wolf that starts out in the beginning of the film.
Oh yeah, that's right at the
Like,
beginning.
that's right at the beginning. And so, and like the night bus, everything's darker at the beginning of this intro, and you just know that something's about to go down.
Yeah.
Something's already following Harry.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you find out later that like the wolf is like a sign of like evil or like death or something like that later on.
Especially in like, I love how they take especially throughout the books, how they take what we typically think of with witchcraft. Because I look at Harry Potter, I'm like, yeah, that's like witches and wizards and stuff. But I don't consider it witchcraft, because witchcraft has this connotation of just being evil, like I don't know how to explain it. Like Salem witch trials is what I think of. When I think of Harry Potter, I think of like lighthearted, brave, the story of a hero.
Yeah.
But you get, I can't think of the name of the professor because I can't think of anything right now.
Which one?
It's the professor with the T.
Trelawney.
Yes, Professor Trelawney. And like even like the reading the bottom of the tea leaves.
Yeah.
Like that's translated from just general knowledge or general ideas of what like gypsies are or people who tell the future.
That's right.
Into the Harry Potter series. And that even then when it does get translated in there, I think she said death was what his cup was. And so that's dark.
Yeah.
Like you typically want riches and stuff like that when you get your tea leaves
pretty much, yeah.
read.
But, I mean, you know, like, and so, like, you've got all these lighthearted moments going on. You know, the comedic relief, the lighthearted bits, the parts that, you know, make you say, hey, it's not so serious after all. These parts, you know, there aren't many after 3. Like, you know, like the night bus, because you've got the night bus, you've got that one whimsical moment where Harry's riding Buckbeak, the hippogriff, that's what it is. Which, by the way, I do want to say that's another point from the books that's translated super well visually. I absolutely love that scene and, like, still do to this day.
Yes.
Like, I still think it's done incredibly well, even though it is kind of funny to think that it's Daniel Radcliffe sitting on, like, some green screen thing.
Yes.
That's a little
I love
funny.
watching behind-the-scenes stuff.
Oh, so great. But after that, like from 4 onward, your lighthearted scenes, like, and comedic relief really tank.
It really does, especially even past that. Like, even if you go past the Deathly Hallows into The Cursed Child, too.
I still haven't read it, I'll be honest.
Oh, I've read summaries of it, and I kind of want to read it, but, you know, I'm an English major. I read everything all the time.
That's fair.
No, I know that, in summary, The Cursed Child is a play about Harry's son. I think it's Sirius, I think? He has James...
I know he has James. I thought it was like Albus Severus.
Albus Severus. That's what it was.
Which is a terrible name, by the way.
Yeah. Which, by the way, what do you think of Snape's redemption?
I hated it.
Oh,
I didn't think it was worth it.
it.
Damn. Also, I do want to just contest a much better name: Rupius Remus Potter.
Aww.
Right?
Aww.
See?
Hey. Anyway. You're out here making millions. Well, JK's making millions.
JK's making millions. I'm just the idea man.
No, but like, The Cursed Child follows, I think it's Albus Severus as he goes into Hogwarts, and he is in a Gryffindor. He's a Slytherin.
That's right, I remember that.
And he really shouldn't, well, everybody's like, well, he shouldn't be a Slytherin. He should have Harry's, because Harry only had any type of Slytherin in him because of Voldemort. And it's like, well, what's this say about him? He becomes best friends with Draco's son, Scorpius, I think is what
that
his
is
name.
A terrible name.
Well, I mean, Draco is a name. Anyway.
God, even Draco's better than... Come on, man.
You know what?
Serious?
I also don't want to say any names are bad because culturally I don't live in Britain. So.
You know, I guess that's fair.
But no, he goes, and one part of it is, I forget exactly how, but they end up time traveling through the Harry Potter world, like, as we know it. I know that sounds really dumb, but they touch on moments where, like, they touch on moments and go back in time to the Goblet of Fire, where Harry goes into, like, the graveyard, and, you know, Cedric dies and everything. Well, I believe there was a moment in the play that made them go back to this where Cedric's parents were like, oh, like, it's good to know Harry had kids, especially since my only son is dead. Like, that's horrible. Like,
yeah.
But, again, don't quote me to this too much because I haven't actually read it. I've just read up on it. And so I was like, that's depressing, too. Like, imagine being a child that somebody just hates because of either ideology that was lost in a war or because you are the product of the victor.
Huh. Yeah, no, they really don't pull any punches there. Wow. Okay, so yeah. So moral of the story is comedic relief down. Like, I wish I had like a little... I should have made a graph. I should have made like a graph that showed like movies, comedic relief, and just the line going straight down. Yeah. See, that could have been good. That could have been another visual. And, Morgan, just do your best. Like, imagine that I hit enter and there's another slide there, and it shows like a funny little graph.
Well, let's go back to color theory for a second since I'm staring at this, okay?
All right,
Look
go
at
for
the
it.
background of this. I think this is warm. Yeah, like he's wearing a blue shirt and everything, but like it's a warmer, like, let's say they had a filter on it, it's a warmer filter.
Yeah.
This one, he's wearing like golds and yellows and reds and like just warmer colors. Obviously that's a picture of the bus and everything, but that's Prisoner of Azkaban, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, that's blue. She could have easily made it red like any other Britain bus or anything like that. Or even she could have even just made it invisible, because that's a thing in the Harry Potter world. Like,
very true.
So he could have just gotten onto a normal car and it turned out to be this huge bus. Like, really, she could have made it of anything. But now it's like a double-decker, triple-decker, blue bus. Night bus. The night bus, too. That's dark.
Yeah. I mean, and even, if you remember, so the book, I remember, didn't handle this. I want to say the movie actually handled this one bit a little better than the book did. You remember he meets the dude running it, Stan Shunpike? Mm-hmm. And, like, he gets on and he sees, like, he's reading a paper, and that's where you first get introduced to the idea of Sirius Black, which in itself is, like, kind of a grim name. Like, God,
yeah, dude. Black, that's another color thing. I'm really on this color thing.
There you go, see? So, like, you get introduced to Sirius Black, and, Stan Shunpike's like, oh, yeah, you don't know. He's the one who used to work for Voldemort, sold out a bunch of people, all this stuff. So that's when you're, like, first introduced. So even in, like, this lighthearted moment, you've got, like, this darker theme that's, like, presented to the viewer/reader.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, that's what we've got on that. So, I think what does it all mean? Closing thoughts. What do you think, and what do you got? Okay, so for the sake of this being an academic, let's wrap back to our thesis. Let's take a look at that. We're looking at the script.
J.K. writes the Harry Potter series in such a way that the themes and plot elements age with the audience, getting more dark and more mature, and is translated into visual elements in the movies.
I like to believe that we've shown that pretty adeptly.
I think so too, and I also think it shows with the age thing too. We had talked about in class how CGI, how like the first Harry Potter movie was like the worst when it comes to that.
Yeah,
it literally does age. You can see the age of technology get better as we go from 2001 all the way up to like 2012 was when the last movie.
Is that when it was?
I think so.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I'll take your word for it.
But like you just see how how camera movements and how just like CGI in general gets so much better.
Yeah, lighting effects, all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And also keep in mind that anything not done with CGI back in the first movie, which was a fair amount, but even still, there was a lot of like practical effects, like a lot of like like on stage like set sort of pieces.
Oh yeah.
That it's hard with lighting and stuff to make these things like in a darker theme, but like as you've said, as technology progressed and as like it aged with the movies and with the audience, they're allowed to do like a lot more and make it a lot darker. So
yeah, and the themes in every single book and every single movie, I think gets translated pretty well. Like, the first one, trust your friends, learn who your friends are. Especially because when it comes down to them having to get the Sorcerer's Stone, they have to trust their friends' strengths. Yeah. Like Hermione with the poison. Yeah. What would be the poison.
Didn't get translated into the movies, but that's fine.
Well, still. In the movies, though, you still have to trust. I think Hermione still has to trust. It was the vines in the
That's
movies.
right. It
was the vines. And so they still had, like, Harry had to trust her that whole time.
Yeah.
And Ron clearly was doing his own thing.
Well.
This is Ron.
Ron.
But they ended up trusting Ron later in chess. There is no T there. Chess. scene.
That's true. That's
and
true.
then the second movie is
Kind of the same thing.
kind of
much.
yeah,
Like,
Chamber of Secrets though, and it's like
yeah, you know, trust your friends. And, like, it does get a little darker, you know, with the whole, like, petrification thing and all that jazz.
mm-hmm.
And, like, you know, a giant snake, which, you know... Well, also it had a giant spider, which, by the way, that was a puppet. Like, that was like a giant animatronic.
That's cool.
Which is really impressive.
That is impressive, especially with, like, 2002.
Oh, yeah. And also, like, I rewatched it, like, about a year or so ago, I want to say, just because I was, like, curious. I was like, is that good? Let's see. It aged pretty well, believe it or not.
It really did. It's just like the Jurassic Park movies.
Oh, 100%. 100% aged super well.
And then the third movie is Prisoner of Azkaban, and that one's like trust what you know.
Yeah, that one's and also that's also like starting to touch on like who can you trust?
Exactly.
Because you know think of Sirius was the one who took the fall for betraying Lily and James.
Even though it was Peter.
Yeah. So that's kind of one of those, like, Harry heard the story, like, you know, throughout the whole thing, and then at the end it's like, no, you got it all backwards. So it's sort of like a careful who you can trust sort of thing. And that, I think that also does show, like, you know, a big shift in tone.
Mm-hmm. You go from, like, oh, trust your friends, trust, like, people you trust.
Yeah.
You know, you should trust. And then it's like, well, who should you trust?
Yeah.
And even then, like, you get, I saw a meme. I thought this was really funny, which is a translation in and of itself.
There you go.
About the third, I think it was Prisoner of Azkaban, where the twins, may he rest in peace.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Anyway, so the
Sad
twins show Harry the Marauders map. And somebody was like, so they had this map the whole time, and they're wondering why this guy named Peter is sleeping next to their brother every night. Like, I'd be concerned too.
Oh.
Or why this guy Peter is following him around. Like,
oh, I don't like that at all.
right?
I don't like that at all.
Like, how do they have this map in their possession for so long
Oh my God.
and not notice this? And Harry notices it within that book. Like, okay, JK.
I think, okay, maybe. Best case scenario I can give is that a name doesn't pop up if they're in their animal form.
But he was in... Ah, man, I haven't read the book or seen the movie.
It's been a while for me.
Yeah, in such a long time. I don't know if he was in his animal form when...
Well, because the only reason I bring that up is because don't forget, when he was looking on the in the movie, and I think in the book as well, I remember this very clearly because he was wandering around because he saw the name Peter Pettigrew, and he was wandering around and he runs into Snape, and as soon as he checks it again, the name's gone.
Oh yeah.
So
That's true.
I'm gonna believe that just to give myself a little peace of mind.
Okay.
That's the best I can do right now. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah.
Overall, you know, tonal shifts a big part of both the books and the movies, and I like to think that we've shown that pretty well.
Especially, well, yeah, philosophically and any other theories too.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. All right. That's all we got for you. Thank you for tuning in, as always. Again, Morgan, really appreciate you listening to this. And we'll see you in the next one, or in class, or whenever. This is my capture audio software. Bye.